Patty House. Salute. Hello. And everybody watching on youtube.com/ESPN1320 and twitch.tv/ESPN1320. A big salute and a shout out to you as well. Wish we were talking about a Sacramento Kings win. Alas, we have to discuss a 117-115 loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves. And I got to tell, look, I don't want to pander. I don't love to pander. I will. Like, I'm not above pandering.
Okay.
But it's not my favorite thing to do. And you know me, though. You know how reactionary I am.
Mm-hmm.
I am like...
Oh, you wear it on
I
your
am,
sleeve.
what's the... hot and cold. I am North and South Pole, whatever the two, I can't think of the
Yin
word
and
I'm
yang?
looking for. Yeah, I'm just very hot and cold. That'll work. What? I thought last night was not bad.
I thought it was a hell of a game, Kyle.
It was a really good game.
I thought it was too.
Dude, we'll get to like the in depth of what we liked and didn't like from the game. I didn't learn anything about the Kings last night. I thought going into the year, 51-31, they're a playoff team. That's about what they looked like last night. They had a couple of shots not go down. The Timberwolves made some tough shots. Julius freaking Randle goes 5 of 6 from 3 and makes a bunch of tough shots. Anthony Edwards hit a bunch of tough shots. All right. Like, I don't have it in me to look and go, they blew a 12-point lead. How could they do that at home in their season opener? I can't get there.
I think the reaction that I've seen is wild. Like, I put out my 6 quick thoughts last night, and I just got buried. Like, so many people were upset that I marked, like, hell of an opener. That was a great game.
It was a super fun game.
Like, look, the Kings looked so bad last week, and Minnesota looked so bad earlier this week. But these are two very, very good teams, and they battled mano-a-mano almost the entire game. The biggest separation was 12 points.
Yes.
And it was in the third quarter, and the Kings blew that lead so quick. It was, it wasn't even really a 12
points in the modern NBA is more like 6.
Yeah, and it's not like, it used to be like when the Utah Jazz got a 6-point lead on you with 4 minutes left, the game was over.
Right.
You were going to lose by 8 or 7.
Sure.
You were not going to win at all. It was over.
Yeah.
That's not the modern NBA. And so for me, like, I thought it was a very good game. You wanted the Kings to come out on top, like if you're a Kings fan.
Of course.
But at the same time, I think everyone should be really excited that the team that showed up on the court was really good and has so much room to improve.
That's it.
That like you can see the path to improvement. Like you can see it.
If your takeaway from last night is, man, they have to do X, Y, and Z better. Like, yeah, no doubt. There's a bunch of stuff they need to do better, and we'll get to it for sure. But that's why there's 82 of these games, 81 more.
Yeah.
The number one for me, it's process and results, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you'll see this all the time, especially like on basketball film Twitter. They'll post a clip of a certain set, and maybe the shot gets missed, but they always say like, the result is what it is. The process was good.
Mm-hmm.
They were in this play. It got this person wide open. The person missed the shot, but that's a shot that you feel good about them knocking down. This was good process. I thought the Kings' process for the most part last night was good. They absolutely have things to iron out.
Oh no, totally.
But I don't have it. I just, so if Keegan's shot goes down, we're all of a sudden deciding that like everything was great and nothing was bad. Like, no, man. Minnesota's I'm a little bit down on Minnesota, but I still think they make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a playoff team, and it came down to, hey, you know what? Last shot didn't go in. Like, all right. Next game, you get the Lakers, who you dominated last year. Then you get Portland.
Yep.
You can be at 2-1 by Monday night.
It's just sitting right. Like
I don't know, man.
They're fine.
Like, maybe yeah.
Hey, look, I during pregame, I asked Mike Brown a very specific question. I said, "You're having like a tough time putting your arms around this," is how he's described what your team is, because you've had so many injuries and you're trying to integrate new pieces and you don't really know. And I said, how much are you going to rely on what you do know? And to me, that is exactly what we saw.
Mm-hmm.
We saw a coach that was like, man, I do not know what Kevin Huerter is today. I know who Kevin is as a player.
Yep.
But who he is today as a player, who Trey Lyles is today as a player, I don't know what those guys are right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so 43 minutes for Keegan Murray, 43 minutes for DeMar DeRozan, 38 minutes for Domantas Sabonis, 37 minutes
insane.
for De'Aaron Fox, to like 27 minutes for Malik Monk. Like, he relied exactly on what he knew that he could rely on, and everything else was a mess.
Yeah.
Like, everyone else who stepped on the court was like, they don't know where they fit into the puzzle yet.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be on Mike to expand and contract this thing until he figures out how all the pieces fit. And for today, you lost by 2 points.
Dude, and I said ad nauseum going into this year, it's going to take a while for them to figure this all out. The fact that their game, where they very clearly, you got not a ton from Kevin Huerter. It wasn't terrible, but you got not a lot from Kevin Huerter.
Mm-hmm.
You got not a lot from Trey Lyles. Keon Ellis had a super quick hook. I think he played 11 minutes. All those are three guys that are expected to be key pieces of your rotation. It like you said, the non-starter minutes were kind of a mess.
Yeah.
But the starting lineup and the closing lineup were both very, very good. If your first game, if your game where it's like, man, day one of this, got a lot to figure out, is a 2-point loss where you had a good look for the win, that's a fine spot to be in. And like I said, I am not a pander person. I'm not I am a knee-jerk reaction. I'm going to overreact to everything kind of person. That's in sports and in life. God forbid I leave my water bottle in the house after I get in the car. Day ruined, right? No, but I just 48 minutes last night and went, oh yeah, no, this is a good team. This is kind of about there's some gripes, but
yeah,
like I thought the biggest takeaway, the biggest like positive takeaway, if you happen to be Kings fan who is very upset or distraught at what happened last night, we talk about the importance of Keegan Murray all the time. Since Keegan Murray stepped on the court in a Kings uniform 3 seasons ago, it was like, this is the dude. It's Fox, it's Sabonis, and then Keegan Murray is that third major piece. What does he become? What is his ceiling? He was outstanding last night. 10 3-point attempts, 17 total shots, had opportunities where he made plays off the bounce. I thought he had Naz Reid on him at one point, I think it was in the second quarter, and just backed him down and then hit a nice little turnaround fadeaway. Well, 10-foot jumper. Yeah, man. It was just like who is this guy? Catching and shooting. It's super aggressive on the glass, 11 rebounds, really active with his hands, knocking rebounds out. I think the Kings only had 4 offensive rebounds. Keegan had 2 of them, and another one was generated because he tipped the ball away from Minnesota. Like, he was everything that you kind of want to see Keegan Murray becoming. I thought he was last night, and he was awesome defensively. It was about, if you're watching that game last night from a 30,000 foot view of this is game 1 of 82, you have to be thrilled with what you saw from Keegan Murray.
Yeah, I totally agree. And like, look, the Kings they do have a structural problem here with this roster, which either they'll fix or they won't. I don't know. But the problem that they have is that early on, Keegan Murray started on Anthony Edwards, and he did an outstanding job. Ant-Man was like a non-factor in the first half. He had done a very, very good job of defending him. And then at some point, Julius Randle caught fire. And then, so what you needed is for him to go defend Randle now. And then Minnesota helped them out, because what Minnesota did was that they staggered the minutes of Julius Randle and Anthony Edwards, which is a problem that they're going to have, because those two, I do not believe, can coexist.
I'm 100% with you.
Like, I worried a little bit about this with Kyrie and with Luka, but this is a different degree of it. Like, Kyrie is one of the smartest basketball players you're going to run into, and he understands when it's time to go and when it's time to back off. I don't think that either one of these guys have that in them. And so what happened, the reason why Keegan plays 43 minutes is because they keep staggering these guys. And Keegan's like, okay, Ant-Man, oh, now I got to slow down Julius Randle. So you can see Julius Randle was on fire early, totally slowed down. As soon as they had to take Keegan and put him on Randle for minutes, then Anthony Edwards started getting going. And it was like this back and forth thing. I thought Keegan was so spectacular.
Yeah, that's it. Like everything we've wanted to see from Keegan Murray, just from an aggressiveness standpoint.
Yeah.
Took 17 shots. That's second most on the team last night. Like, man, yes,
Mhm.
this is great.
Yep.
Do you want that night in and night out? Probably not. With De'Aaron Fox, you want to see him get going, scoring. There are going to be nights where DeMar DeRozan, who led the team last night with 18 shots, is going to get going. But man, the 10 3-point attempts was great. They went to Keegan for the win, which was great. He hit 5 of them. That was the other key, is get up to between like 8 and 9 3-pointers a game and then make 40+%. I have of all the things that happened last night, good and bad. Keegan was number 1 in the good category for me.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that is the reason I will remain optimistic about the Kings despite the loss.
Oh, no, I agree 100%. And the fact that, hey, we need you to go defend a high-scoring 6'5", 220-pound guard, an electric guard,
Mm-hmm.
and then, we need you to go defend a 245-pound power forward that wants nothing more than to run you over.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just his versatility is so incredible on the defensive end specifically. Yeah, really, really high quality first game for Keegan.
Ant's first step is ridiculous, by the way.
Yeah.
He got going downhill a couple of times last night. That's like, man, it's funny when you watch games in person, you can see the like stars. They just move a little different.
Oh yeah, they're electric.
Yeah.
They jump off the court.
He was really, really good last night. There was a point that it wasn't the Ant and De'Aaron back and forth that I was hoping we'd see, but the Kings were up early. The Wolves go on an 8-0 run to go up. I think it was 8-5. And then De'Aaron just took it on himself, blow by layup. Okay, run is over. Next possession down, goes over, gets to his little mid-range bucket like that quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And then Anthony Edwards did that a couple times too, where the Kings had hit a big shot and he'd just come right back down, layup and one. Like, man, this is 2 really, really good players.
Yeah, I totally agree. And like, look, they held Anthony Edwards to 10 of 24 from the field. Like, that's
super efficient.
Yeah, 5 of 15 from 3, and that's what he shot 10 of 25 in the opener.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good thing. The Kings did a nice job on him. I mean, in the end, he ends up with 32 points, but like that doesn't mean they didn't do a good job of defending him.
Yeah. The other process related thing I loved last night, speaking of aggressiveness, was Domantas Sabonis putting up 4 3-point attempts.
Oh yeah,
first time he's done that since January of 2022. That's insane.
Yeah,
that's such a long time for a guy who I was going through some of his old 3-point shooting numbers. He has made 4 3-pointers 4 times in his career.
Okay.
I forget when the last time he did it was, like 2021. He did it 3 times as a rookie.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, like he used to just put him up apparently.
Yeah, I mean, he's always been that kind of guy. Well, I mean, they started to bulk him up.
Sure.
And to make him more of a center and not a power forward. Yeah. So
I will gripe a little bit. There were a couple times where he hesitated shooting mid-range jumpers and 3-pointers where I think he probably should shoot those.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, man, you get Domas going 3 or 4 again. That's a thing that we asked for. I've been asking for since last year, and that they emphasized this offseason. And you saw it. They ran a play. They ran a play for him where, he floated to the corner. Like that's where he was going to stand. Is going to pull Rudy Gobert away from the basket. De'Aaron drives. Rudy crashes. De'Aaron out to Domas. Wide open 3 from the corner. It's a bucket. That's going to be there, man.
Yeah.
They need to keep shooting it. But that's where, again, result bad, process on the Domas stuff I thought was really good.
Yeah, and he goes 3 of 4, which is impressive. The other thing that he did, I think, which was kind of hidden, Rudy Gobert in 35 minutes scored 3 points. And he went 1 of 2 from the field. I thought the Kings did an outstanding job of stopping the pick and roll, of keeping Gobert away. And, again, he fouled Gobert late, which he wasn't happy about. Sabonis wasn't happy about. And he certainly was very upset with himself on the Anthony Edwards. But like, what are you going to do? He's going to score either way.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter. Yeah. So, but I thought his defense on Gobert, because like Gobert's got over on him a couple of times. Like Gobert has gone for 20 multiple times against Sabonis. But not in this game. I thought he was just a much better player than Gobert.
Yeah. I think so too. The other thing I loved was didn't love De'Aaron's overall game last night. I think he needs to be more effective as a scorer. But if he's only going to score 15, dishing out 11 assists to go with it is a nice little wrinkle to have.
No, I totally agree. And he had 2 turnovers on the night.
Yeah.
So 11 to 2 assist to turnover ratio.
It felt very much like the preseason from an offensive standpoint for him, or from not from an offensive standpoint, from a scoring standpoint.
Yeah.
Where it's like letting everybody else figure it out, and I'll just pick my spots.
Yeah, I need him to not do that every game.
Yeah, you got to get out of that eventually.
We're kind of looking at like, hey, are you going to allow DeMar DeRozan to take all the shots in the fourth quarter? And I hope not. I hope that that's not where Fox is. Fox needs to like balance being aggressive and assertive and not being like disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like this is Fox's team.
Yeah,
and he needs to go out there I don't think he had a bad game, but he also like look at all the other guys that had 20 points.
Yeah,
and points aren't everything, but I would have liked to have seen him go for the jugular late in the game, as opposed to seeing what we saw from DeRozan, which is going to be one of the bad things that we talk about.
Okay, yeah, let's get to that just right now.
Yeah,
that stretch from DeMar DeRozan, it started at 7:33. I want to make sure I got this right. 7:33 in the fourth quarter. The Wolves had a 1-point lead to 5:57, so about a minute and a half stretch, where it was just DeMar DeRozan doing DeMar DeRozan stuff, where he was working for tough contested layups, tough contested jumper. And I know that's his thing. But in that spot, man, like you were down 1, and by the time that whole sequence ended, they're down 6. And it eventually ended with DeMar getting to the line after trying to shoot another tough contested layup. But man, that just can't. It felt like he went, it's DeMar DeRozan time. I'm going to take over this game. It was just not the time for it. If there's a minute and a half left and nobody's doing anything, yeah, then go for it. Go be the DeMar DeRozan that everybody knows and loves. But that was a weird spot. And again, that's kind of the learning curve that we talked about is when does he take over a game like that?
Mm-hmm.
When does De'Aaron Fox do that? And how does that DeMar DeRozan takes over with tough contested jumpers fit in with the Kings motion spray 3 type of offense?
Yeah.
That was not the right time, FYI.
Yeah, I totally agree.
That out.
Well, that, and I also feel like he should have understood that Jaden McDaniels was defending him, who's an outstanding defender.
Got paid like $35 million because he plays defense.
Well, yeah, and he's like 6'9" with a 7'3" wingspan, and you can't get away from him. I mean, he's very, very like athletic and mobile.
Like the prototypical modern wing defender.
Yeah, like very, very good 3-and-D defender. And the problem I had, I guess the one thing I will say in DeMar DeRozan's defense is if Fox had rolled his ankle or something, like there was a moment where Fox went off the court right about the 7-minute mark of the fourth quarter.
And is that when he took the knee to the knee?
Oh, it was knee.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
It was DiVincenzo. They knocked knees, and he limped off to the court and maybe sat for like a 2-minute stretch right there. And that's where DeRozan like stepped up. But what DeRozan should have understood in that moment was because Fox wasn't on the court, that now he had McDaniels defending him.
Yeah.
Before that, McDaniels was defending Fox almost exclusively throughout the game. It's a big difference between McDaniels and anyone else on that roster.
Literally anyone else.
They cannot defend like him at all. Like as far as a perimeter defender. Don't take away from the fact that Rudy Gobert is a 4-time defensive player of the year.
Yes.
It's different, right? And that 4-time defensive player of the year gave up 24 points on 8 of 13 to your center. Like Domantas Sabonis destroyed him. So, but my point is that DeRozan should have been more like cognizant of the fact that he was being defended by an elite defender, and he probably should have moved the ball. I also don't think Malik Monk was in the game at that point, and then Mike brought those guys in together to finish off the game. But yeah.
It's one of the, like, it's hard to ask this question, and I think I can't remember who it was last night. Somebody asked this last night, but basically said, in nicer terms, like, this is one of the best teams you've been on for a while. And what's that adjustment like? And that's something that I think we're going to have to see in over the course of, I don't know if it takes a couple of weeks, a month, whatever, that when he was on the Bulls, like, salute to Kobe White, but it was like, man, DeMar's the guy. He's the guy. They're down a bunch at Golden One Center to the Kings in the fourth quarter. They need DeMar to take over.
Mm-hmm.
And he can go do that. That's, I think, going to be an adjustment for him, finding out that, like, man, you don't need to do all that here. Keegan Murray's a good player. Domantas Sabonis, good player. Malik Monk, De'Aaron Fox, good players. And I like I said, I know that's kind of a little bit what you sign up for. I just didn't think last night was particularly effective. Wasn't my favorite DeMar DeRozan game.
No, but I mean, at the same time, he led the team in scoring.
Sure.
Like,
and he got to the free throw line a billion times.
Yeah, he had 8 rebounds. He had 2 assists. He had a steal. He only turned the ball over twice.
Mm-hmm.
He's 7 of 18 from the field, which isn't great.
Yeah, he didn't suck. It's not like, oh my God, they made a mistake. It was just that one stretch. That was my concern, and I think that's why it jumped out to me.
Mm-hmm.
My not my only concern, but my major concern with DeMar DeRozan was, hey, are they going to get into these spots of games where he just starts shooting tough shots over and over again, and they kind of get out of their offense?
Yeah,
and that's a little bit what happened there. And it was again, minute and a half. It's not the end of the world. It just, like I said, it really, really jumped out as it was happening last night.
Well, that and coaching DeMar DeRozan on day 1 and coaching DeMar DeRozan on game 25 when you have a much better relationship and understanding of each other is totally different. And I think Mike will learn when he sees stuff like that to rein it back in.
Yeah.
But he also will understand that if he changes the ingredients on the floor and goes back to a Malik Monk or goes back to a De'Aaron Fox, and the defense has to shift to those guys, it might free up DeMar to do what he likes to do. I'd also point out, we talked about this before the season, DeMar DeRozan goes 12 of 14 from the free throw line. And he missed 2 free throws early, and everyone was like, oh, man, he got...
It was like, welcome to the Kings, yeah!
Caught the Sacramento flu, right? But the Kings went 28 of 35. They shot 80% from the free throw line. 28 of 35.
35 free throw attempts, bro.
The Timberwolves, 15 of 17.
Come on.
Like, that was incredible. The Kings were the more aggressive team, but the DeMar DeRozan effect is real. Like, he is going to get more free throw attempts for his teammates.
Yeah.
And I don't know how it works out, but I think it's a great thing for the Kings, because if they're hitting their free throws, it really does take a lot of stress. It slows down the game. And, I looked, the Kings only had 82 shot attempts. But 82 shot attempts compared to 86 for Minnesota. Then add in the free throw attempts. So look at how many more possessions they had than the Timberwolves, and that's how you make up for your deficiency at, like, the 3-point line and stuff.
Yeah, they got outscored by 20. Oh my God, is this right? 27 at the 3-point line and lost by 2.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Thanks in part to outscoring them by 13 at the free throw line. Cuts that number almost in half.
Yeah, that's how, if you're not going to shoot a ton of threes, I think this team will shoot more threes.
That is one thing. I don't think, and I want to get to our Jiffy Lube teamwork play of the game, a new segment we're going to be doing. I want to get to that here in a second, but that's the other thing that jumped out from last night. 29 threes is not sustainable in the modern NBA. They got to figure out a way how to. They got to figure out how to get more up.
They shot 39 last year, but I'll tell you, this is
39 a game.
Yeah, 39 a game last year, and this is why what I sort of opened the show here is that the problems that they had last night are so incredibly fixable. Like, I expect Keegan Murray to be around 8 to 10 3-pointers a game. I expect Domantas Sabonis to try to get 3 or 4 threes a game, and De'Aaron Fox shooting 4, that's not going to happen. Malik Monk shooting 2, that's not going to happen. But Kevin Huerter going 0 for 3 and Trey Lyles again going 1 for 3, that's not going to happen. In the regular season, when this thing is really rolling, those numbers will naturally come up because your shooters will be put in situations to shoot more. And for right now, you're still trying to drag Kevin Huerter and Trey Lyles along and have everybody learn, but it's not an easy transition. And I'll keep saying this: the guy who's really all the pressure is on is Malik. Like Malik has so much pressure on him because he didn't know Keon Ellis was going to start next to him, was going to be his running mate with the second unit until like 3 days ago.
Yeah.
He didn't know that Trey Lyles was going to be back. Like all of these pieces are coming back at this one time, but it's that second unit that really hurt the Kings last night and got abused. And that's because Malik is playing with a bunch of dudes who haven't been there. And that's one of the tougher things.
Yeah. All right, let's get to our Jiffy Lube teamwork play of the game. We got plenty more King stuff coming up. This is a new segment we're doing, the Jiffy Lube teamwork play of the game. And last night, it was this sequence that I wrote down in my notes, not to brag, but I took notes last night. And I wrote down, like, there's been 3 or 4 moments where it's like, if this 3 goes down, the roof is going to come off this place. And then we finally got one in the fourth quarter, and it started with this Alex Len block.
DiVincenzo blocked by Len. He sends it back. Murray for 3. Cash.
I'm a little upset. Big shout out to NBC Sports California for posting that clip. I'm a little salty that they cut the clip off before the Murray response from the crowd. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's okay. No, that was just that at that moment, honestly, as we're sitting up there, you get the Alex Len block. It's on Dante DiVincenzo. De'Aaron Fox grabs it, gets it up to Keegan. Keegan hits the 3. Kings up 6. It's like, all right, they're rolling now. This place is rocking. This is where they pull away. And then obviously they didn't. But I think again, process over results. I think that's the kind of thing that excites you if you're a Kings fan. Is like, man, you got Alex Len defending the rim, De'Aaron Fox getting the ball ahead. Yeah, Keegan Murray, no hesitation, knocking down a 3 above the break. That's good basketball.
Yeah, I totally agree. And what we're seeing from Murray is every single thing that the Kings were asking their players to do in this offseason, he did. Sprinting as fast as he can down to the corner, hitting the crash zone, all of these things. He did a spectacular job.
Yep. Huge fan of Keegan Murray's game last night. And the Alex Len block leading to that Keegan Murray 3 is our Jiffy Lube teamwork play of the game. All right, we got James Ham's 6 quick thoughts. We've got NFL Week 8 action. We've got other NBA action from last night. We got mad props. It's a Friday. We're having fun. Here on the Insider, sponsored by Jiffy Lube on ESPN 1320 at Sacramento Sports Leader. Woo!
Hello, everyone.
Good morning, guys. I didn't get to say good morning to everybody. We're scrambling a little bit. But good to see everybody hanging out in here.
Zabo, there were a ton of people that met up at halftime. They're crazy. Like 50. Like Cool Raul. Yeah. Yeah, it's nice meeting everyone last night. Wheezy, Spencer. Like it was really cool meeting everybody. Zach, I don't mind.
Keep vibes up. Let's go.
Yeah. I don't mind Fox shooting a couple of 3s off the dribble. But like he just, every player in the league shoots a higher percentage as a catch and shoot player.
Yeah, it's easier.
Yeah. The opening night atmosphere was phenomenal.
Thought it was really good.
The Kings did a great job of like all the t-shirts were cool. They added like these weird lights to all the handrails, which were
That was sick.
They were like zip tied on. I don't know if you saw that. Like those lights,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
were just like zip tied on.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to be a permanent thing, but
I hope
like,
so. It looked cool.
It did look cool. Like all of the aisles and the entire place had like lights that were coordinated and doing different things. So I thought that was cool.
Felt very and I mean this in a good way because these games are very fun. It felt very hockey to me.
Okay.
Like that's that.
I haven't been
like
inside. I haven't done a hockey game.
Oh, dude, we might have to do that this year.
Okay. I would do it. Yeah.
And we'd have to do some planning because that's a trek for you to get down to San Jose.
It's a trek. Yeah, I'd have to stay down there or something.
No, dude, it's right downtown San Jose. We'll go get some drinks after. It'll be great. It'll be a fun time. This is actually why I did not pull up. I didn't want to get kicked out. I heard John Bull was going to be there and was like, nope, I got to stay professional.
That's right.
I can't punch anyone in the face today.
John Bull was hanging out with my guy, Ed Montez. At least I think they were.
You tell Ed Montez next time he sees John Bull to give him one of those.
Punch him in the face. Yeah. Sock John Bull.
Yeah, if you've never been to a hockey game in person, go. They're super fun. My wife is not a sports fan.
Yeah.
And we went to a Sharks game and she's like, when can we go again? She loved it.
Yeah. It's super high energy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it just, you don't get an appreciation with hockey. Because like in basketball, it's like subs happen during timeouts and like they blow the horn and the guys come on and the guys come out. In hockey, it's just like, nope, it's just constant. Like it just never stops. It's so much fun.
That's fun. Like I've covered baseball, and covering baseball versus covering NBA is the wildest thing, because it's literally like hanging out and watching a baseball game.
Yes.
Like you write your story, somebody hits a 3-run homer in the ninth, you got the next 2 pitches, you've changed your entire lead, and your story's fine, and away you go. Like it's so slow compared to like last night. We didn't know the outcome of that game until the end. I wasn't able to write my end, my first thought to go with the 6 quick thoughts until the very end. And then like having the whole process of like, it's wild. Some NBA games are like that.
That is one thing I appreciate very much about quote unquote covering Kings games, is because I don't have to write.
Oh yeah.
And I'm taking notes and following along and stuff, but
I'm glad
to basically sit there and watch a basketball game.
Yeah, I'm glad that I don't write the same way that I used to.
Yeah.
Because it just like nobody wants to read it that way. And I get so much more engagement on my 6 quick thoughts than anyone is getting on their game stories.
And you get to give your like thoughts and opinions.
Yeah.
It's not like
you're
here's
pulling
what
back
happened.
a little bit. Yeah.
To do some editorializing.
Yeah.
All right, 10 seconds. Oh yeah, there's a World Series tonight.
Now, back to the Insiders with James Ham and Kyle Madsen, brought to you by Jiffy Lube on ESPN 1320.
You play blow the whistle at your wedding or at a party, you're getting a show.
There it is.
I'm not going to do this on the radio. If you're watching online, you can't hear, but the blow the whistle instrumental by Too Short is what brought us back in.
Okay.
I'm not going to start singing, rapping. He's James. I'm Kyle. The Kings fell to the Minnesota Timberwolves 117-115. Sacramento is now 0-1 on the season. Is their season over? 916-909-1320, 916-909-1320 on the Elk Grove Kia talk line. Should the Kings be tanking for Cooper Flag? James, your thoughts?
Well, that's a tough one, Kyle. Because, man, he's good. And they do need that 3-4. Yeah. No. Like this.
Where does Cooper Flag fit in this rotation? Let's talk about it.
They are perfectly fine.
All right, let's get to James Ham's 6 quick thoughts. If you follow James on Twitter at James_Ham NBA, you will have already read these, but we're going to discuss them a little bit more in depth. Here we go.
How'd yesterday's Kings game go? Kings insider James Ham has 6 notes you need to know. Here are James Ham's 6 quick thoughts.
James Ham, take it away. Thought number one.
DeRozan didn't disappoint. I thought he was absolutely spectacular for long stretches of the game. Like defensively, I don't think it was really all that bad. I thought he held his own. You know, he had to spend a lot of time on Julius Randle. Offensively, he scores 26 points, grabs 8 rebounds, a couple of assists. Like, look, this is exactly why you went out and got him. It got sticky in the fourth quarter, and I think it was a learning process for everybody. But again, I think it's more than just DeMar DeRozan took too many shots or got blocked a couple of times, forced some things. I think it like plays into a bigger scheme that, you know, you need multiple players on the court with him at the same time in order to draw defensive coverages and stuff. And the Kings were, you know, trying to get through their first NBA game of the season with a whole bunch of players that had never played before with him. So yeah, really, really nice opening night start for DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, nothing happened last night that made me feel differently about DeMar DeRozan on the Kings. And frankly, even though I complained about that little minute and a half stretch there in the fourth quarter, there's also going to be games where he has stretches like that and he's cashing everything he shoots.
Yeah, he did it last year against the Kings. He put
yeah.
up 19 in the fourth quarter and torched them.
Yeah. You saw it in the preseason opener against the Warriors.
Yep.
He had 6 for 6, and every single one of those was like a tough contested jumper. Yeah, I have no problems with DeMar DeRozan's overall game last night. He did exactly what we thought he would do. Number 2.
Number 2, Keegan is a two-way star. I thought, again, we're wondering what Keegan Murray, if he's going to get lost in the shuffle because of DeMar, if he's going to be able to elevate his game. Everything that I saw last night tells me that he's on his path to being one of the better two-way players in the game.
Yeah.
And that's a really good thing for the Sacramento Kings.
He needed to be more aggressive shooting the basketball, and when given the opportunity, put the ball on the deck and go get a basket. And he did that every time last night. The 11 rebounds, the active hands. I would love to know how many deflections he had.
Yes, probably a lot.
I will look that up while you're talking, but I couldn't have been more impressed with Keegan last night. It's the exact. I've come on the radio and been like, hey, I need to see this and that from Keegan, and I saw both this and that last night.
That's right. And I will say this too. Shout out to Monty McNair and Wes Wilcox, because the Keegan Murray selection was not the most popular thing ever. And what they've done to like put him in a position to succeed is huge. But also the way that the training staff has worked with him and developed his body, and the way that he continues to grow, the way that De'Aaron Fox has pulled him under his wing and made him part of the family. I think all of these pieces, for once, I think the Kings have an environment where a young player can develop and become something really, really good. And I think that's what we're seeing from Keegan Murray right now. He's done a lot of work to make himself better. He's a very talented player. But on top of that, all of the pieces are in place to support him in the right way, where so many other young players in Sacramento have gotten lost in the shuffle because they didn't have this support system in place.
Last night was why he was a perfect fit when they drafted him.
Yes.
That's why it was the right pick. That was my take on draft night. You can look it up. I have looked it up. Keegan Murray deflections last night in the Sacramento Kings season opener against the Minnesota Timberwolves. He had 0. Number 3. It felt like he had his hand on the basketball a lot. Maybe there were some that weren't technically deflections. He was poking away rebounds.
Maybe they gave him rebounds where he should have had steals or deflections.
He had no steals, no deflections. I take it all
amazing.
back. Keegan Murray stunk last night. Should they trade him so they can tank for Cooper Flagg? No.
There we are.
Number 3.
I thought Domantas Sabonis was really solid. He did not get a double-double, which is stunning because he had so many, and he only had 1 assist, which is crazy. But 24 points, 8 rebounds, 8 of 13 from the field, 3 of 4 from long range. He even hit 5 of 8 free throws. Look, this dude just every single game, and if he's going to be this aggressive as a scorer, number one, De'Aaron Fox is going to have to fight to get over 22 to 25 a game. But this is what you're kind of hoping for, this elevation of everybody, not just of the young players, but even the guys who are all-star level that can take another step.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit more about Domas coming up here, so I don't want to get too far into the weeds, but overall, we saw in the preseason that he was more aggressive scoring the basketball. I think we saw it last night. A couple of times he hesitated when I would maybe like him not to, but again, we're game 1, learning process, etc. Overall, really nice game from Domas last night. Number 4.
Fox had a slow scoring night, and something we've talked about. 6 of 14 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3. Only went to the free throw line twice. I think he played a different role. He played the role of distributor last night. 15 points, 11 assists, only 2 turnovers. And to me, there are going to be nights where this is who he's got to be. But there's also going to be the night where, take the Ferrari off the blocks. Let's see what you got. And I think Jaden McDaniels had a little bit to do with that.
Mhm.
He's a very good defensive player. But I also think that playing to your strengths in a game like that, where you know you're going to be defended,
Mhm.
is probably the right move. Get to the painted area, find your teammates, set people up. The look ahead to Keegan Murray was spectacular, but he fed Keegan Murray on a bunch of threes.
Yep.
And when your team finishes a night with only 21 assists and you have 11 of them, that means that you were part of the solution. You were not part of the problem, regardless of how many points you scored.
Yeah, and to your point about setting up Keegan threes, there were a couple of times last night where he could have taken like a tough contested floater that De'Aaron Fox probably hits, but Keegan Murray is not I don't know, Glenn Robinson III. Like Keegan Murray is a legitimate elite 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
Or at least he's trending that way. That is a much better shot. A wide open Keegan corner three is just the right shot and the right play. I'll be a little bit more I'll have more of a reaction to De'Aaron's scoring night if he doesn't cook the Lakers. The Lakers don't have anyone who can guard him.
No.
If he's scoring 15 points against LA, now we can have a bigger conversation about what that looked like. But I'm guessing we'll see the scoring tick up on Saturday night.
Yeah, and I want to add this too. Mike Conley went 2 of 9 from the field for 6 points.
Bruh.
Dante DiVincenzo went 4 of 10 from the field, 1 of 6 from 3. De'Aaron Fox was defending both of those guys the whole night. I thought defensively he was really good. Him and DiVincenzo, there's a little like love-hate thing going on there.
A little beef.
Yeah, it does feel like there's a little beef happening for whatever reason. And like you saw, they were going at it.
I don't think Dante's probably a quiet person on the court.
No.
He probably gets under people's skin a little bit.
Told you, Dante DiVincenzo is one intense dude.
Yeah, the offensive foul with the little chicken wing to De'Aaron.
Yeah, but even that, I think a lot of people did not think that was a foul, and Fox did the Chris Paul move there to bait him and get that foul. So yeah,
I thought it was pretty clear he threw an elbow up there, but
it's possible.
I had a bad angle.
Yeah, and look, I enjoyed like Dante DiVincenzo, the person, when he was in Sacramento for like that brief moment in time. But it did not end well, and he wants to torch the Kings every time he plays them.
You also noted that he's an intense dude, and he is. And boos rained down on him when he entered the game.
Yeah,
he's probably playing with a little bit of an edge last night.
I don't know why though. He didn't do anything.
He didn't do it.
He didn't do it. The only thing he did was, for some reason, not get to start over Holiday. Like the Kings traded for him and Holiday at the same time. And he's coming off the bench behind Holiday, and it was like he wasn't happy about it. Like, what in the world? I wouldn't be happy about it either.
Justin Holiday, right? Or Aaron?
Justin Holiday. Yeah, I think
not Drew.
No, it was not Drew.
One of the Holidays who wasn't Drew.
It was Justin, I believe. Yeah, Justin Holiday. Anyway, like his gripe, his beef was legit. It was legit. And so, and then when he left, it was very strange. Like Again, the Kings had him as a restricted free agent and pulled a qualifying offer and allowed him to become an unrestricted free agent. Like, yeah, I've received some stunned phone calls from people around the league, but the phone call I got on that one that was like,
what are they doing?
What in the world just happened here was like, man. Oh, I don't know, man. Tough. Good luck with that.
Tough. I also think Dante's probably a little angsty because he doesn't get to play with his Villanova homies. I don't know if you know that, but the Knicks have a bunch of guys who went to Villanova together.
I just feel so bad for him.
It sucks, dude.
This is a good spot for him.
Got the college teammates back. You're on a team that trying to go to the Eastern Conference Finals, and they're like, hey, go enjoy Minnesota.
And he was great last year for them.
He was awesome.
He was absolutely spectacular for them. Yeah, I feel really bad for him that happened. And look, he's a good ball player. Yeah. Teams around the league, I look at him in a very similar light to a guy like Bogdanovic. These are winning players. They are like, he's intense because he wants to win. Like he's a no nonsense dude. Like there's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong with, like, teammates love guys like that. Guys who literally come out and play as hard as they can every single night. And, it didn't work out here in Sacramento, and hopefully it works out for him in Minnesota. So
Soren says Dante's been on 5 teams in 3 years now. Well, he got traded to the Kings, right?
Yeah.
Kings didn't offer him. So he signs with Golden State on a 1-1, plays his ass off in Golden State, gets a bag with the Knicks, and then the Knicks traded him as part of the Karl Anthony Towns deal.
Yeah.
That's tough, man. just done nothing but ball out. He should probably be starting over Mike Conley, though. I don't know what Mike Conley does for the Timberwolves. Mike Conley is there to take the inbounds pass, dribble up the court, hand it to Anthony Edwards, and then go over there.
Go hide somewhere.
I know he hit a couple of big threes last night, so respect to Mike Conley. He's 38 years old out there getting it done. I think the maximized version of the Timberwolves probably has Dante starting.
Yeah, it might have Dante starting, and again, Rob Dillingham is a guy who's hiding on their bench who down the road.
Yeah, what a weird thing.
It's very weird. Yeah. I did see, I was standing courtside with Mark Jones in pregame last night, and Dante came over and said hello.
Oh, nice.
Like, super nice. Like, again, he's an intense dude, but
beard looks great.
Super nice guy. So
we've gotten so far off track.
Where are we?
Number 5.
Number 5, Malik Monk picked up right where he left off. I thought Malik Monk was tremendous. And that's like I've also talked about how he was dealing with the fact that he's playing with a bunch of dudes he doesn't know, or that haven't been there and aren't like, there were plenty of moments where I just thought he was there to take over a game. And I kind of wish there was a little bit more of him. Again, not everyone is going to get, we talked about this. There's only a certain amount of like shots. So not everyone is going to get to eat every single night. And the fact that he came in off the bench and looked extremely motivated, he had a dunk. He just like embarrassed Joe Ingles. Like he like got it in the corner, like sat there and dribbled for a second and made a spin move and bye-bye, and then double clutch dunk. And it was like, what in the world?
I'm not sure Joe Ingles can slide his feet to stay in front of Malik Monk, James.
I don't think that's a good matchup for the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah, dude, no, I don't want to say there's nobody in the league. There may not be a sixth man in the league who understands moments better than Malik Monk.
Yeah.
And understands when his team needs him to be the maximized version of himself. Like he's always going to look for a shot. He's always going to try and score, etc. But understanding, hey, here's a huge moment in the game. I'm taking this shot. Or here's a spot where, what was the game last year where he started to dribble inside the 3-point line and then just like turned around, ran back to the 3-point line and hit a huge three?
Yeah, I don't know which game, but yeah.
You remember what I'm talking about, though?
Yeah.
He just, man, I really enjoy watching him play basketball. Just a really, really fine player. Again, 17-4 last night. No turnovers.
Yeah, it's just a really, really good basketball player. When Malik Monk is like your 4th or 5th best player, that means your team is really, really good. And, the fact that he doesn't start, that means nothing to me. Like what he's able to do coming off the bench is just spectacular. He changes everything.
Yep.
And I needed more of him last night, not less. Like if he would have been the 4th guy to score 20 points, I would have been A-okay with that. Like he probably should have forced up a couple of more shots.
For sure. Last one, number 6.
Here's the downer. Kevin Huerter goes 1 of 4. Keon Ellis goes 0 for 1. Trey Lyles goes 1 for 4. Alex Len 1 for 1. Doug McDermott 0 for 1. The Kings got nothing out of everyone else that came in the game. They got a total of 10 points. And a lot of this is because Huerter was injured, because Lyles was injured. But it's really tough when, most of your starters, Sabonis ran a -2, but the rest of your starting lineup all ran positives. And then you get to your bench unit and Monk, because he's playing with these guys, runs a -7. But Keon Ellis -12, Trey Lyles -14. We're talking about in 11 minutes of action. And so
-14 in 11 minutes is tough.
Yeah. So look, it's going to take a little while for these guys to figure it out. And I don't blame Mike Brown for giving Doug McDermott a shot at all, because he probably looked at the minutes he was getting from Kevin Huerter and said, okay, look, I probably am pushing too hard. I need him to ease his way into this. And I thought Kevin played physical. I thought he was good as he can be. Yeah, I thought he flew in for a couple of rebound attempts, helped defense. He fouled a couple of guys, but at the same time, I thought it was because he was trying, and I didn't hate what I saw from him. But they need more than 10 points out of that entire group, and just more of everything. And it will come. It's just right now, that's why Mike Brown went 43 minutes with DeRozan and 43 minutes with Keegan Murray.
I really enjoyed his transparency there when he said, I'm not comfortable with my rotation yet.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's not to say he's not comfortable with like, okay, who's going to play with who? It's like, I don't know who I can play right now. I got to figure that out. Like, what is Kevin Huerter going to give them? Trey Lyles, I think they're probably pretty sure what they're going to get out of Trey Lyles. He's just not in basketball shape.
Yeah.
Or he's not game shape yet. But like, Keon Ellis was kind of a mess last night.
He was.
It was, and he's not starting, and then he goes in and plays 11 minutes and has that sequence where he gets the steal on the inbounds and then throws up a wild floater from the baseline and yanked.
Well,
and
that was the beginning of the end.
Yeah,
Because it was that, and then the DeRozan plays happened right afterwards. And so you have 3 or 4 forced shots within the span of 2 minutes, and you go from right in the game to down 4 or 5. And it really hurt them right there. And again, I don't blame Keon Ellis he did the work to get the ball.
Sure.
But he probably should have made a better play there.
All right, we were gonna do NFL here, but since we're on the Keon Ellis thing, let's just get to this. We'll get to 49ers and Raiders in a bit. Not overreacting. It's game 1. Keon Ellis more than likely going to be fine and going to be something close to the player we saw last year, if not a little better. But if this is kind of what this is for him this year, where there's a game he's going to be super effective in 11 minutes, and then, oh, hey, maybe he has to play 20 minutes one night and he plays well, but it's just kind of an up and down thing, and he's not a reliable rotation player. That's bad. Because so much of what we've talked about this entire offseason is like, Keon's a starting 2, and if he's not the starting 2, then he's this awesome option off the bench. And last night he was not awesome. And it dawned on me, and again, this not because I think that's what he's going to be. If I had to bet, I'd bet Keon Ellis is going to be fine. But it was the first time I'd ever really considered, oh, what if he takes a step back? Because I've been operating like, oh yeah, he's going to take this jump. He's going to have another year. And he's a great defender, and he's going to keep knocking down threes and this and that. But man, what if he doesn't?
Okay, well, a couple of things. Number one, I don't want to overreact on one game, and I don't think he had a great preseason. There's just something about him in preseason that looked different, and I don't know. And I think it's part of the reason why he's not starting. Like when he got a couple of breakaways. And he went up to dunk the ball, and his body looks tired. Like he wasn't exploding. When I watched his 3-point shot, all of a sudden he's taking like a major step forward on his 3-point shot and coming into a shooter, which is not typically what you want to do. Yeah, exactly. But like there's certain things that I feel like it's almost like he worked too hard this offseason and then got to training camp and was like a bit worn out. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm reading more into it, but he didn't stand out. And the reason why Keon usually stands out is because he has so much energy. And when he steps on the court, you feel his energy as a defensive player. I did not feel that at all.
No.
He was a step slow. He was running into screens and not going through screens like he normally does. All he did was foul everybody the whole entire, like he was trying to play physical, but usually when you're fouling too much, it's because you're a little bit slow. So I don't know what exactly happened here in the offseason, but I think that there is a very good chance that he recovers and he's perfectly fine.
Sure. And that's why I said I didn't. This is not a referendum on Keon Ellis.
No,
it is. Oh, what if? Like there's.
I'll tell you what if.
That's
Kyle,
tough.
Here's a real tough answer for you.
Yeah.
What if is that when Devin Carter gets healthy, he's not playing.
Oh,
that's the what if.
Oh, man.
So I hope that that's not where we are, because
I don't think it is.
I really like Keon as a player and I like what he brings to the table. And I also I like the energy that he brings. And if something's off, they need to figure it out.
And I also think, I guess this is the other side of the fence. We talk about Malik playing with a bunch of guys he's not played with. Same thing with Keon. He's been running with the starting group, and then 2 days before the season starts or 3 days before the season starts, it's like, hey, actually throw that gray practice jersey on. You're with the twos now. And now he's trying to adjust to what that role looks like.
I totally agree.
Because by the time he started playing last year consistently, Herter got hurt and he was in the starting lineup.
Mhm.
So it's just a different. So there's going to be an adjustment for him too, which is why I think for the most part he's going to be fine. That was weird last night. It was jarring.
It's kind of been weird and jarring the entire preseason. So yeah, I'm hoping he snaps out of whatever the funk it is.
Nice dude. 916-909-1320, 916-909-1320 is the Elk Grove Kia talk line. We've got Don. Don, you're on the Insiders with Kyle and James. What's up? Hey, Don.
Hello.
Yes, Don, are you there?
Yes, they just put me through, so it's Steve, but no worries.
Oh, okay.
My quick question to you is, Kevin Herter. You know, I'm not pro Kevin Herter. I know when he's on, he's on. And what is your opinion on that rotation? Like, I don't even know why they're starting him. And why are we using a real game to get him acclimated to, you know, NBA playing time? That's what the preseason's for.
Cool. Thanks for the call, Steven. Appreciate it. We'll respond to that when we get back. Why is Kevin Herter starting? Why are they ramping up his minutes in game? Good questions from Steven. We'll continue talking about that. We got a ton more King stuff to get into with you. We'll have some Week 8 NFL action, other NBA action, mad props, all of that coming up in the second hour. He's James Ham. I'm Kyle Madsen. We're the Insiders, and we're sponsored by Jiffy Lube here on ESPN 1320. It's Sacramento Sports Leader.
What's going on, everybody? Hey, if you guys don't mind, hit the thumbs up for us.
Yeah, please. That'd be great.
Please.
We do better about that.
We do. I'm gonna try to make it a at the hour break every day. Also, you guys go to wherever you listen to podcasts and subscribe to the James Ham and Kyle Madsen show. Yeah, it was a pleasure meeting all you guys last night. Like Michigan, you threw this up. That it was a lot of fun. Like, I'll just warn you, if you introduce yourself to me last night and you think I'm gonna remember everybody's faces and names, you're like sorely mistaken, because my brain doesn't work that way. Unless you were wearing name tags. If you all had name tags and I could see the name tag and then put a face to it, we would be okay. But there were so many people that came over and said hello. It was a bit overwhelming, like how many people. Ian, we're not giving you permission to panel.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to the chat, yeah.
Oh, it was very cool.
Yeah, Julio asked no Fantasy Friday. Yeah. No Fantasy Friday this week. Faraz out again. Salute to Faraz. We're thinking about him. He said he will be back next week.
Sweet.
Yes.
Yeah. Plus, we have a lot to talk about because
can you imagine if after the first segment we're like, and now fantasy football?
Yes.
So I would need a third hour. Would love a third hour.
Kyle, you're right. I had no idea, but again, there were so many people. Like, I remember you coming over and saying hello, but there were so many people.
I'll be right back.
Sacktown Tony, you were the guy that wasn't there. There you go. Wait, Puka's starting? Did Puka start last night? Oh, see, we didn't even get to watch the game. Like, I tried to throw it on my phone at the end. Man, I'm going to answer this, Jeff. The reason why Doug McDermott played is because look at the distribution of minutes. 43, 43, 38, 37. Then Fox tweaked his ankle a little bit. Keon didn't play particularly well. And again, let's get back to that second unit issue that I was talking about. Like, if Alex Len going 1 of 1 is where you're going to get like productivity, that's not a good thing. The Kings needed someone to come in and hoist some threes. So anyway, you've got mail. Is it more socks?
No, but I had a gang of people reach out about sending socks.
Oh, sweet.
Yes. So those should be coming hopefully today. I think a bunch of them are supposed to come in.
Chris Ochoa, go ahead and ask your question. You have a fantasy question. Go for it. We will try.
What's gonna say? We'll do our best.
Yeah, I didn't see that Puka played last night.
Yeah.
Like I probably should look up that game.
I told you during the Kings game. I was like, Puka's cooking.
Oh, I missed that.
Cool, man.
We do sit next to each other. I sit between Kyle and Sean. It's a lot of fun.
Here's my issue. This is why I never get upset if somebody like doesn't like hear me or remember what I say. I talk nonstop. I'm just constant. Just
You talk and you sing.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Kyle's got himself something over
Takes
there.
about the game. Making fun of Matt George.
Ooh, 7 for 106. Ooh, and then DeMarcus Robinson. Oh, you got a new water.
Plug came through.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, shut up.
Where'd that
Get
come
yours
from?
at Yeti.com.
Oh, that's a pricey water bottle.
Yeah, I got a PR email that was like, "Hey, do you want this for free?" It's like I don't have to write anything or do anything. They're like, "No, do you want it?" Like, yeah.
Why don't you?
I'll take
You
that.
need to send me these people. I will take free stuff, Kyle. I never get free stuff.
Hour number 2. That's James Ham. I'm Kyle Madsen. Hanging out with you until noon. Then we'll hand it off to D'Lo and KC. Oh, good fade. The Kings fell to the Timberwolves 117-115 last night. 916-909-1320. 916-909-1320 is the Elk Grove Kia talk line. If you call in, and we would love to hear from you, getting your reactions to the Kings' loss last night, it's either going to ring for a while or you're going to be put through right away. We don't have a call screener. So when we answer, it's me. You're on air.
You're on air.
And
that's why he calls everyone Dawn.
And that's why everyone is Dawn. Because our call screener is...
Except for Mitch in New Jersey, which we know Mitch in New Jersey's phone number, and that's why.
Yes.
It says Mitch in New Jersey.
But even the other caller IDs that I recognize, Dawn.
Okay.
Yeah.
You like messing with people.
Yeah.
I love it.
Mitch is just Mitch is special. Got a special place right here.
So many
in
ways.
My heart. We had Steve call in, not Don. Steve, he corrected our call screener before the break, and he wondered why the Kings were ramping up Kevin Huerter in the regular season and not in the preseason. It's because he wasn't cleared to play basketball games or couldn't play in basketball games.
Yeah, and look, I think it's more complicated than that, right? There's 82 games in the season, and if you have to give a few points away in game 1, game 2, game 3, so game 5, game 6, game 65, you have a more functional player, then that's what you have to do. I mean, Mike Brown doesn't have another option here. The Kings play Thursday, they play Saturday, they play Monday. They will not have time to practice. If they do practice, it's more walkthrough stuff, prepping for the game. And so once the games start, there's no way to get Kevin Huerter acclimated. And look, the best way to get Kevin Huerter out there and moving is to have him face as many different looks as possible.
Yeah.
And
gotta let him play.
Yeah, you gotta let him play through it or don't. You know?
Here's the deal. I understand if you're frustrated with how the Kings game went last night. I totally get it. Kevin Huerter playing 20 minutes is not why the Kings lost last night.
No.
It was way down the list of things that went wrong. Especially when the alternative was Keon Ellis, who didn't look great and only played 11 minutes. So I just that was down my list of problems.
Yeah, sure. I think it was really, really far down the list. I think just overall, he still had the same pull. You still saw the reason the spacing opened up. I mean, look at where the Kings were in the first quarter. And then, they were playing extremely well in the first quarter.
Yeah.
And they started to build a lead and they gave it back right at the end of the first quarter. They gave up a 3. They should have been up 5 coming out of the first quarter. A lot of that happened while Kevin Huerter was on the floor. They were a +6 with Kevin Huerter on the floor in the first quarter. And I didn't think he played poorly, and I still think that there are moments where you can see like the old Kevin Huerter. It's just going to take a little while. He didn't play for 7 months.
Jill Adge posted these splits last night. Kings Twitter MVP Jill Adge posted these splits last night. The Kings starting lineup had an offensive rating of 134.5, which is an insane number in 13 minutes together. A defensive rating of 103.4. That's a net rating of 31.
Oof.
That is good.
Yeah.
You're going to win a championship if you do that. The closing lineup, DeRozan, Sabonis, Fox, Monk, and Murray. Offensive rating of 125, defensive rating of 105 for a net rating of plus 20. Also outstanding.
Yes.
That's what matters.
It is.
Like those two lineups being really good is a good start.
Yeah, and like look, like I warned people in the if the Kings go 500 out of the first 10 games, where I still believe they could still go 8-2 in the first 10 games. If they go 500, that's not the end of the world. And in that, after that 10 game sample size, if Kevin Huerter is not acclimating to the offense and he's not figuring it out, Mike Brown will make a change if he has to.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Now it's got to be like that. Keon is pushing,
yes,
and that Kevin is struggling. And so far, we haven't seen the push, and we haven't seen like maybe we've seen the struggle from Kevin, but like you expect him to struggle. He did not play in the preseason, and there's no other way to get him acclimated and up to speed than to put him in and let him fail, let him succeed, let him grow, let him like figure out how to work his way into this lineup.
916-909-1320, 916-909-1320 if you want to join the program on the Elk Grove Kia Talk Line. You've been hearing our thoughts on the Kings' loss to the Timberwolves. Let's hear yours. Don, you're on the air with the Insiders. He's James. I'm Kyle. What's up? Hey, Don. Oh, there we go. Don. Don? You're on the air.
Hi, this is Tim. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hey, Tim. Sorry, our call screener got your name wrong. What's up?
I apologize. Hey, I think you guys are great. I appreciate you guys. I listen to you every day. I don't know. I just keep hearing like all kinds of different things, but I mean, Fox has got to score more than 15, and I think we win that game. You know what I mean? Especially if he's going to be considered like, all NBA. I don't know. I just wanted to hear your guys' thoughts, and I think we're fine. But anyway, I just wanted to hear your guys' thoughts. Right. I think Fox could have scored 5 more and kind of totally changes the game. You know what I mean?
Okay, great. Thanks, Tim. Appreciate the call. Yeah, I don't disagree. You need more scoring from Fox for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
There's going to be games like this. There's also going to be games where he goes for 40.
Yeah, man. I'm chalking up almost everything last night, save for like the 3-point defense. The Timberwolves on 20 of 50 from 3. They shot 40%. I'm chalking almost everything else up for now as game 1. Call me at Christmas. If this stuff is still an issue at Christmas, we'll talk. But I just, would you like to see De'Aaron Fox be a little more aggressive, putting the ball in the hoop? Like, yeah, no doubt. I couldn't agree more with Tim. But at the same time, he's dishing out 11 assists. He was not forcing shots. I think somebody in the chatty house noted he had no points in the fourth quarter. That's not great. But again, this is figuring out that balance with Malik Monk and with DeMar DeRozan and with Domantas Sabonis and Keegan Murray and how this looks. I'll be more concerned, like I said, if he's not scoring against the Lakers.
I totally agree. And then I'm also going to add in that, like, we can't excuse the fact that Minnesota is one of the best defensive teams in the league. And the Kings scored 115 points against them.
Yeah, man.
And like, you can say what you want about like, who scored what, but last season their defensive rating was 108.4. They were the best defensive team in the league.
Yeah.
They were two points better than the Boston Celtics. Defensively. Like
Boston Celtics, good team in my opinion.
Yeah, they are a quality ball club. Exactly. Solid. So again, like if you're going to put up 115 against a really, really good team in your opener, like this is the first game. You shouldn't expect this to look perfect.
You got nothing from Kevin Huerter and you got 15 points from De'Aaron Fox and you put up 115 against Minnesota on opening night.
Yeah.
Like I said, there was so much more good than bad.
No, I totally agree.
I get like you want to
Yeah.
win all the games. I understand the frustrations and I understand that there were several things that didn't go right. But so much of it I'm chalking up to game one. Let's hear from Don. Don, you're on the air. You're on the Insiders with Kyle and James. What's up? Don, are you there? Hey, Don. Going once. If you're wondering if we're talking to you, we are.
Hey, do me a favor.
Yes.
Go to that, you see a blue truck right there?
Oh.
That blue truck right there with the dog.
He's not talking to us.
I'm gonna turn that down before it gets bad. I'm gonna let him hang out. We'll try this again in a second. I can't wait to hear what he has to say. Can't wait to find out what happened with the blue truck. I got so many questions.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try again. Hey Don, are you there? Hello, caller. You're on the Insiders.
Hello?
Yes. Hello, Don. How's it going? You're on the Insiders with Kyle and James. What's up?
Oh, yeah, you calling people Don again. I'm tripping. Yeah, this Titus.
Titus,
Hey,
what's up, bro?
I'm pointing the finger at Mike, no defense Brown. He refused to have him guard the 3-pointer. We didn't watch it all preseason. He used to having a defensive stopper like Draymond Green, and he used to Tristan Thomas when he was in his prime, and LeBron and stuff like that back then. We don't got defensive players like that.
Yeah.
Titus, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Did the blue truck move?
Did what?
Did the blue truck move? We heard you. We heard you talking about a blue truck. I just want to make sure it moved where it needed to go.
Oh no, I'm outside, man. Don't worry about the outside, stuff. I have somebody, doing me a favor, man. That's all I'm trying to.
Titus, appreciate you listening.
somebody do
Appreciate
me
the call, buddy. We'll
Yeah.
talk to you. Thanks. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll let you take it. Go ahead.
Okay. They went 20 of 50, and they also have guys who are not great 3-point shooters going 5 of 6 in Julius Randle. I mean, overall, I think the Kings did solid defensively. It's really tough to defend Naz Reid behind the arc, especially he throws up laser beams from 30 feet.
His 3-point, just his jumper, gives me anxiety.
It's angry.
Dog,
it is.
It's just nah!
It's like when he goes up for a dunk,
Yeah.
he throws it out. When he goes up for a 3, it looks like he's throwing up a 3 as he's just like he's dunking. Yeah. So I look, do the Kings have trouble defending the 3-point line? Yes. It's something that's happened the last couple of years. But at the same time, Mike Brown had this team improve to the number 14th defensive rated team in the league. They were also I want to say number 8 after the All-Star break.
Mhm.
They can play defense, but you have too many moving pieces that are new.
Yeah, and one of their keys defensively is Keon.
Mhm.
Keon Ellis, Titus said Mike Brown's used to having a defensive stopper. That was Keon on the perimeter last year. He was wreaking havoc, and I think Keegan Murray can be that guy too. And if you have both of those players on the court together, when they're playing defense at a high level with De'Aaron Fox, who's a very high level perimeter defender,
Yep,
you're in really good shape. Would every team like to have a Rudy Gobert standing around the rim? Yeah, for sure. But I think the Kings are figuring out how to make do without it. I don't blame their defensive struggles on Mike Brown.
Yeah, and I'd also Jaden McDaniels 0 for 4. Anthony Edwards 5 of 15, 2 of 7 from Connolly, 1 of 6 from DiVincenzo. You did a good job against those guys. It's we talked about it yesterday as one of the keys to the game. They let Nickeil Alexander Walker bust him for 3 for 5, and Randall.
Julius Randle hitting 5 of 6 is silly.
Yeah,
if he goes 3 of 6, they win that game, right?
Yeah.
It just
even 2 of 6, which is more around where he is as a career shooter.
Right.
If he goes 2 for 6, then we're not concerned.
Mm-hmm.
It's those extra 3. If they went 17 of 50 and shot 34% from 3, everyone is totally fine.
Yeah.
But a dude who doesn't typically hit all of his 3s just loves to play against Sacramento and lit you up.
Mm-hmm. Naz Reid is only 25 years old.
Yeah. Telling you.
He looks 40.
I would have, like, if I were the Kings, that's the guy that, like, I would have gone and offered them, like, at least one first-round pick and maybe more to get Naz Reid. Like, I believe in Naz Reid as a player,
Yeah, man. He's
especially as a player that could play alongside.
and 19 and 13, 19, 13 and 3 last night. Man, good player.
Yeah.
Good player. 6th man of the year potential for Naz Reid.
Oh, yeah, you think so?
Yeah, he just needs to start some games and then he'll be there. Elk Grove Kia talk line is 916-909-1320. That's 916-909-1320. Don, you're on the Insiders with Kyle and James. What's up?
It's the real Don of Sacramento,
There
Kyle.
he is. What's up, Manny?
What's going on?
What's happening?
Hey, it's good to see you yesterday, James. I don't know where Kyle went. He just kind of ghosted everybody.
Yeah, I heard you were going to be there and decided not to show up.
Oh,
But I think everything after, like, any major criticism after game one is so wild and ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, this is a new team. Like, yes, there's core members here, obviously, but there's new changes, even with Herter and Trey coming back, who haven't played at all in the preseason.
Mhm.
Trying to figure out the right rotation, who's really going to be the core rotation. Like, this is what Mike's doing right now. This is what every coach does. And if you win the game, it's not championship or bust. And if you lose the game, it's not let's sell everything. It's literally, in my opinion, this is going to take anywhere from 15 to 20 games before you get a real understanding of where they are. And not to say you can't know now what they need, but you'll have a better look, because there's always players that surprise you on what they're able to contribute, and there's players that end up not doing what you thought they could do at the end of the day. And 15, 20 games, I think you get a core better look at what you really need and what you have, and that's when you start really critiquing after that.
Yeah, no doubt. And once you get those reps, things start getting a little bit easier, for sure. Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Thanks, man.
yeah, Kyle, if they lose by 20 to Portland on Monday, then people can get upset. If they're 0-3
sure,
and you lose to Portland, it's not a good team, then people can start to say, hey, look, like, what is going on? But that's not where we are.
It's not. Look, and this is what I'm really trying to walk this line here, because it's not overreacting to react to something. It's not overreacting to go, I'm a little worried that the Timberwolves went 20 of 50 from 3 and this trend continued. It's like just spotting things and going, okay, hey, here's all the things that happened.
Mm-hmm.
And now let's go to the Lakers game. It's just, and if the Lakers go 12 of 40 from 3, then okay, cool. But if the Lakers shoot 40% from 3 again, it's like, okay, well, it's just these trends. If Keon Ellis really struggles again, it's like, oh, okay, well, you've got to figure it out.
Yeah.
No overreaction.
No, I totally agree. And for as much as we're looking at Julius Randle go 13 of 17 from the field, Rudy Gobert went 1 of 2 in 35 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they shut him down completely. Like, he was a non-factor in the game. And so there are things that will happen in a game that you can point to, but 40% from 3 is really good. It's worth 1.2 points per possession. Hate to tell people this, but Rudy Gobert shoots like 65%, 70% from the field. If he would have had 10 shot attempts and hit 7 of them, the score probably would be even worse, because that's worth more than those 3-point shots. It just is. Like, a 70% shot is worth 1.4 points per possession. So again, like, I think that there are things that they did really well. And then there are some things that they just, they let a couple of really, really talented offensive players get loose.
Yeah, man.
It happens.
It does. And if this is why, like, if let's go to the world where Keegan's 3 goes down last night.
Mm-hmm.
Good look at the end of the game, and they win 118 to 117. Everything is exactly the same.
Yeah.
We're just coming in and we're playing the highlight of the 3, and wow, Keegan, what a cap to a great game. And that's more the focus. But man, there were Jill Edge in the chat. The weaknesses are the same that we have seen, and until a trade is made, they will still be there. Like, yes.
Yeah.
I have my opinion of the Kings changed 0% last night.
I'd also say this. The best thing that happened last night was it Keegan Murray actually took the shot.
Yeah,
Because
man. Yes.
if
Thank
we
you.
rewind to the week before,
Process over results.
where he did not take the shot, and we're all sitting here like, oh man, you got to take that shot.
Mm-hmm.
He did take the shot,
Mhm.
and it didn't go down, but it's part of it,
Mhm.
right? And Mike Brown explained after the game, part of the problem was that the lob in the pass, you got a new guy throwing the pass in DeMar DeRozan, but not only that, but because of the way the defense moved, the pass took a long time to get there.
Yeah.
And Keegan Murray was not as open as he should have been, and he had to like pump fake it
Mhm.
and throw it up. So like these things happen. You know?
Yeah. That's it.
Yep.
It's kind of the long and short of it. Let's put a pin in the Kings game. We got other NBA action to get to. We also have a couple of NFL games to get to this weekend. Let's take a look around the rest of the league as the Kings were playing against the Timberwolves. The Celtics beat the Wizards 122-102 as the Celtics' path to 70 continues. I think they're going to win 70 games.
Or 82.
Or all 82. Jordan Poole had 17 points in the first quarter. Salute to Jordan Poole, man.
It was so funny. We were sitting there and you said, man, Jordan Poole had 17 points in the first quarter. And I don't think you caught it when I said it initially. I said, yeah, how far were they down? And Sean sitting next to me starts chuckling. He's like, yeah, I bet you they were trailing, weren't they?
2 points.
Yeah.
They're hanging with them.
Yeah, but still,
And
they
then-
were losing despite the fact that he scored 17.
Yeah, because the Wizards stink.
Yeah.
The Celtics are very good. Shout out to Jordan Poole. I think he finished with like 22. 24, something like that.
The Celtics like, oh, hey, someone go
More-
turn that faucet off.
More important for the Kings, though, a couple of games, a couple of heavyweight battles in the West. The Mavs played the Spurs 120-109. Klay Thompson, 22 points, 6 of 10 from 3. Luka Doncic did Luka stuff with a near triple-double. He had 28, 13, and 8, something like that. And Wemby really struggled. 17 points, 9 boards, and assists. Went just 1 of 8 from 3.
And what, 3 of 16 from the field?
Yeah. No, it wasn't. It ended up being better than that. 5 of 18, maybe. Yeah.
At
not
the
a good.
end?
Not
Oh.
yeah. Not a great night for Wemby.
Yeah, that's because he hit a couple of late shots.
Mhm.
Like he was not having a good night. Yeah, Klay Thompson was so open. There was one play where I think he tapped his toe like 3 times.
Yeah.
And then finally, like, okay, I guess nobody's coming over here to defend me. I will shoot the ball again.
They went from, now this is where, is Klay Thompson the player that Klay Thompson was 8 years ago? Like, no, of course not.
Yeah.
But if you're putting him in a spot where who was the dude that they had who went to the Clippers?
Derek Jones Jr.
Derek Jones Jr. Thank you. Derek Favors was the only name I could think of, and I knew that was wrong. You have Klay Thompson shooting those shots now instead of Derek Jones Jr. That's a decent upgrade. Decent little upgrade.
Yeah, it's definitely an upgrade. And I would even say
28, 10, and 8 for Luka, by the way.
he's taking those shots instead of Tim Hardaway. And
Yeah.
Hardaway is so inconsistent. So
Mhm.
now they have Najee Marshall instead of Derek Jones Jr. But still, I think that's one of those teams where like teams will make adjustments. And the
Mhm.
other thing they're going to do is they're going to make Klay play defense.
Mhm.
And at some point, Klay's going to have to figure out if he can still move laterally and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
but you'll take the 22 points in 26 minutes.
The thing that jumps out to me the most, because I had the Mavs finishing second in the West this year.
Mhm.
The thing that makes me feel best about that is Derek Lively, 15, 11, and 6.
The 6 is crazy.
Dude's figuring it out, man. He can hoop.
Yeah.
I like Derek Lively a lot.
And coming off the bench, like what?
Yeah, man. Thunder 102, Nuggets 87. Chet Holmgren 25 and 14 and 4 blocks.
Yeah. I said this at the time, and I'll say like the Chet Holmgren, what is still,
Mhm.
in my opinion, the perfect fit to
Yeah.
go alongside Domantas Sabonis. Like there's no way to get him, but that's one of those players where if you had him next, like his ability to shoot, his ability to block shots, his ability to pass, rebound, elite defender. Yeah, he's good.
I cannot wait to see the Kings play the Thunder.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Monday, November 25th. I've got the date circled. That's gonna be a ton of fun to see where the Kings stack up against a team that I think a lot of people had as the best team in the West.
Mhm.
And man, they looked like it last night.
Yeah, I'm a bit confused. Isaiah Joe in the starting lineup. That's interesting. As opposed to Caruso. But yeah, they've got a lot of players, a lot of depth.
Good team. Good team for sure. The Kings don't play again until Saturday, where they will visit the Lakers and then come home for one against the Blazers, and then go on a long road trip.
A really weird road trip.
Yeah.
It's like Utah, Atlanta. It's a weird one.
Are the Lakers just going to play all home games this year?
I think so. I because next they're gonna bring out like the best mother-daughter tandem of all time and have them sit courtside.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. At Utah, man. If the Kings played like here's my overall overarching takeaway from last night. If the Kings play like they did last night against the Lakers, against Portland, and then their road trip, Utah, Atlanta, Toronto, Miami, home Toronto, home Clippers, they're going to be a lot better than 0-1.
Yeah.
They're going to win a lot of those games if they play like they did last night.
I totally agree. Yeah. So that's why I'm not concerned. Like,
Yeah,
I was impressed. I was worried that they would come in. And don't discredit the fact that they hadn't played in a week and that Minnesota had already played. They played on Tuesday. They had already opened their season. There is a value to that and getting a game in beforehand. It's just like in preseason we talked about, the Kings played the Warriors in game 1, but the Warriors had already played. And then the Warriors busted them for 29 threes or whatever it was. There's like, now that everyone's going to play 2 or 3 games, you're going to start sort of it even out.
Yeah.
But in that first game, if you're playing against someone who's already been on the big stage, bright lights, they already got to see a father and son tandem play and the Griffeys, all that stuff.
Yeah,
pretty crazy.
Happen. Best mother-daughter tandems of all time, 916-909-1320. Silk Grove Kia Talk Line. Jesse Tapia is going to join us next. We've got mad props to go through. We'll take a look at some Week 8 NFL action. We'll look back at the Kings game last night. Plenty to get to in the final segment. He's James. I'm Kyle. Jesse Tapia joining us next for the handoff here on ESPN 1320. It's Sacramento Sports Leader. I'm going to go toss this. I'll be right at the back.
Sweet. I will hang out with the people. Yeah. This is an interesting one right here. Cindy. Well, no, wrong one. Cindy Crawford and Kaya Crawford. What is that series that I just watched that Kaya Crawford's in? Oh, it's the Kristen Wiig film show. Palm, whatever it is, Palm something. Soren Smith. It is Donut Friday. Kyle brought donuts today. Yep. And it hit. It was very nice. Very nice. Baseball is still on. Tyler Jennings, yeah, I think something called the World Series is starting tonight. I know my guy Frankie Cardicelli is very engaged, and so is Jake Gayden, 2 huge Yankees fans. And Tristy Rodriguez from NBC Sports is on her way down right now to LA, where she had bought a ticket to go see her beloved Dodgers play. So she will be in the stands and paid a lot of money. This is a good one right here. Uma Thurman and Maya Hawke. Very underrated. I like Maya Hawke. I think she's going to be a good actress. I do not believe that Dalton Connect will have the best game of his life. I think he may have had that in preseason. But anyway. Hey, what's the Palm something that you told me to watch?
Royale.
Okay, so I watched, and you did realize that the young girl that's messing with her husband in the end is her nail lady. The young girl that's in it the whole time. That's
Mitzi.
Yeah, that's Cindy Crawford's daughter.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. I mean, if you look it up, you'll be like, oh, I should have caught that. She looks just like her mom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mitzi feels
something
right.
like that. Yeah, we're going through best mother-daughters tandems here. Mariska Hargitay and her mom is Jane Mansfield.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Isn't Kate Hudson's mom famous?
Yes, Kate Hudson's mom is Goldie Hawn.
Ah, there we go. Yeah. Well, I knew it was, so I just watched Sugarland Express.
Oh, there we go.
And I learned that was why that was in my brain, because I learned that Goldie Hawn was Kate Hudson's mom, but I did not connect those two things back to each other just now.
Yeah.
Oh, Judy Garland and Liza Minnelli's good.
Oh, yeah.
Lisa Bonet and Zoe Kravitz is really good. Oh yeah, same person.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy the show? Did you enjoy the program?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Fun show.
I binge watched it. Took me a
Nice.
day and a half, probably.
Oh, Diana and Tracy Ellis Ross. Hell yeah. A little under 2 minutes.
Oh, Chris Ochoa, let's see. Wide receiver 2 and 2 flexes. Allen Hopkins. I'm not going Hopkins yet because Hopkins is questionable. If he's playing, then sure. Worthy has been good. I don't know, man. You got a bunch of crazy stuff happening. Oh no.
Delmas and AG take a picture with the Griffeys.
Yeah.
I've heard this, oldie. Yeah, I've heard that. Oh man, who can forget the Andre Ethier for what's it, Keith Ginter trade?
Oh,
Is that right?
I liked Ethier, and then he just flamed out.
He's a good player.
You guys are ridiculous, but you always answer the call. Just so.
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah. What is Mark Jones's line? May not be.
Michigan, you're 0-7, dog.
May not.
Hey, did you see what the Vikings did last night in fantasy? Negative half a point.
Oh no.
Swing and a miss for your boy.
Oh no.
I got 31 points out of our defense in consecutive weeks, and then negative half.
Oof.
Not all going to be winners.
That's funny. Wow. What is Rumor Willis in? Demi Moore and Bruce Willis' daughter.
Big Maya Hawk guy, by the way. She was outstanding in Inside Out, too. Okay, here we go.
Now, back to the Insiders with James Ham and Kyle Madsen, brought to you by Jiffy Lube on ESPN 1320.
Yeah, you're damn right. James Ham, Kyle Madsen, and Jesse Tapia, who produces D-Lo and Casey, the show that's coming up next.
Facts.
What's up, Doc?
Nothing much. Happy it's Friday. How you guys doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. Got a lot to talk about. Got to remind everybody right now that Socktober is here, and people need socks. Bring them to 3010 Lava Ridge Court, Suite 220 in Roseville. That's 3010 Lava Ridge Court, Suite 220 in Roseville. The Gathering in, a local organization, is going to pick up those socks and distribute them to the unhoused in the greater Sacramento region. We would appreciate your donations immensely. Also, tonight, Game 1 of the World Series, Yankees at Dodgers down in LA. Coverage begins right here on ESPN 1320 at 4 p.m.
Let's go Dodgers. Hope we're able to get it done this time.
Yeah, everybody
Big
knows
Dodgers
you're
guy,
a
yeah.
dyed-in-the-wool Dodgers
Mookie
guy.
Betts. Yeah. Shout out Shohei.
I have a Dodgers hat and a Yankees hat. I'm just gonna alternate depending on. I want 7 games.
Yeah,
so I'm rooting for whichever team lost the previous day.
I watched that 2004 Red Sox documentary on Netflix this morning, so I'm trying my
The Soxymentary?
Yeah, I'm trying my hardest just to make sure the vibes are ready.
Nice,
for the
dude.
Dodgers World Series.
I love
I'm
that.
doing my part.
I love that for you, man.
Yeah.
We'll get to Mad Props. I have a question for you guys regarding Jesse's Boston Celtics, who won again last night.
82-0 Boston Celtics.
82-0 on deck.
You're pretty disappointed if it didn't turn out that way.
They lose a game. Jesse's like, God.
I have to change the NBA from what I've seen on Twitter.
Should they keep shooting? Should they eliminate the 3-point line? We'll talk about it next. No, we need to get to Mad Props.
Oh.
Yeah, we got Mad Props coming up. We got the 49ers Cowboys game Sunday night. We have the Lakers Kings game Saturday night. I'm so happy that we're back with football basketball crossovers for Mad Props. Here we go.
It's time for Mad Props. 2 games, 2 props. Which number will he hire? That's for Kyle and James to decide. Here's Mad Props.
Yeah, it's Mad Props time. So I pick a prop from the Niner game and a prop from the Kings game. We try and pick which number of those 2 is going to finish higher. James Ham, you're up first. We've got Jordan Mason rushing attempts or De'Aaron Fox field goal attempts.
Ooh, that's a good one, Kyle.
Thank you.
It's a good one. I am going to go De'Aaron Fox field goal attempts.
Very good.
I think it'll be like 18-17.
Yeah, I think this one's going to be close. I feel good about this one. Jesse?
I'm going to go De'Aaron Fox, too. I feel like the Jordan Mason carries thing has been a loser the last couple of weeks. So I'm going to go with Fox.
Yeah, I'm going to go I'm going to go with Fox, too, because I think he's going to make a concerted effort to get some shots up. And even if he only gets to 17 or 18, I don't know that the Niners with Jordan Mason's shoulder are going to want to get him well above that. And I think there's in close ones like this, I always go to the ceiling. And I think the ceiling for De'Aaron Fox is he gets hot against the Lakers defense that isn't very good and puts up 23, 24 shots.
Yeah.
Whereas Jordan Mason, I think your ceiling is probably closer to 20.
Fox only got 14 in this game yesterday, right?
Yeah.
I think he'll make an effort to get more in this next one.
All right, Jesse, you're up next. Brock Purdy passing attempts or Malik Monk points plus assists?
Malik, oof. I'm gonna go Malik Monk points and assists.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go with Malik.
James.
That's one of my favorite prize pick stats, the Malik Monk points assist stat.
Yeah.
It's one of my go-to, but I'm going to go Brock Purdy in this one.
I'm leaning that way too.
Yeah, I think we're going to get like 28.
Yeah, Malik would need to have a huge night, and maybe he will because the Lakers can't guard on the perimeter.
I'm banking on 20 points at least from Malik in this one.
Yeah, there's a chance that he goes for like 20 and 7, and Brock only puts in the air like 25 times. I'm leaning toward Purdy though. I think it's going to be a game where the Niners are going to have to score, and they're going to put the ball in the air. Ricky Pearsall catches James. Juwan Jennings likely out. He's missed the first 2 days of practice this week. Also missed week 7 against the Chiefs. So it looks like Deebo Samuel and probably Ricky Pearsall are going to be your 2 starting wide receivers for the 49ers.
Deebo's back?
Deebo is
out of the hospital and back on the field.
Yeah, he was limited in practice yesterday. My guess is he's going to play. Ricky Pearsall catches or Domantas Sabonis 3-point attempts.
Ooh, I'm actually going to go Ricky Pearsall catches.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it'll probably be 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Like if this is how far down they are with their amount of players they have.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Ricky Pearsall too. I see Domas maybe taking 2 threes at most next game.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a guards game.
Yeah.
I don't know because I think they will like to pull AD away from the basket because he's such a good shot blocker. And if they go Jackson Hayes off the bench and try to stake Jackson Hayes on Domas, yeah.
I think there's work for Domas to be done on the interior.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he's going to want to shoot as many threes in this game. Jesse, George Kittle targets, keeping in mind Ricky Pearsall likely starting a wide receiver. Or Keegan Murray rebounds. 11 boards for Keegan last night.
Give me George Kittle targets.
James.
Ooh, I think they're both going to be around 10.
Yeah,
I'm going to go Keegan Murray.
The number I had in my head.
I'm going to go Keegan Murray.
Going Keegan. Yeah, I'm going Kittle because we haven't had a good 17 target George Kittle game in a while. I'm going with the ceiling here. There's a real chance that Brock Purdy is just leaning heavily on George Kittle in this one. And I don't know if the Cowboys have anybody who can defend him. I'm riding with Jesse on this one, and I'm going with George Kittle targets. James, 49ers red zone touchdown rate. 49ers red zone touchdown rate.
Okay.
Or Kings 3-point percentage.
Ooh, I think the 49ers are going to figure out the red area.
Okay.
I think we're gonna see an increase in time, despite the fact that they don't have a couple of their wide receivers or McCaffrey.
They're right around 40% for the year in the red area.
Yeah.
Jesse.
I'm kind of I think I want to go with the 3-point percentage. This game kind of feels scary Sunday night between
Yeah.
the 49ers and Dallas. I'm not sure either team is going to kind of just
Feels like a rock
play
fight.
great. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the 3-point percentage. I don't feel great, but I'm going to stay there.
Yeah, I could definitely see one of those games where the Niners are like 1 for 5 in the red zone. Yeah. Last one, Jesse. 49ers total points or the Kings leading scorer?
Kings leading scorer.
James?
Oof. I'm going to go 49ers total. 49ers points.
Someone's going for 30 plus on the Kings on Saturday.
Yeah, that's what I don't think it's going to be the distribution night in and night out that we saw last night. I think last night was a really like nice, evenly balanced offensive game.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm with Jesse. At some point, like somebody's going to just have a monster game, right?
Yeah, I think like yesterday, Fox only took 14 shots. It's fine the way they played game 1 or whatever. But if anyone's going to have to like give up their shots, I want it to be the other guys. Like I want Fox to get his. I think we'll see more of that on Saturday.
Yeah, I got that Niners right around like 25 to 27.
Someone will score more than
maybe.
that. I think someone will
like
score
no
more than
Ayuk, no CMC, no Jennings.
It's gonna be a rock fight.
I think the Niners are going to score a ton.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
What makes you think that?
Yeah.
I don't think Dallas defense is very good.
That's the case.
No
No
Micah
DeMarcus
Parsons,
Lawrence, no Micah Parsons.
Yeah, and I still think they can score. I think Mason can get a couple of touchdowns, and Purdy's going to throw a couple of touchdowns. Yeah, I think Niners are going to score 30 plus. So yeah, I think the Kings could have somebody right there, but I still think that Niners are going to score.
I'm going Kings leading score because I don't trust the 49ers right now.
Okay.
Yeah. I also don't trust the Lakers defense. So that's where I'm landing.
Fair enough.
Mad props. We'll revisit those on Monday. 49ers again. This is the 49ers Sunday night game against Cowboys and the Kings Saturday night game against the Lakers. And we'll revisit that on Monday.
Nice.
Sounds good.
Okay, here's a fun question. Who loses first? The Kansas City Chiefs or the Boston Celtics? Let me get their schedules up for you.
Yeah, I was gonna pull it up.
The Chiefs play the Raiders tonight. Or no, I'm sorry, not tonight, this weekend.
Okay.
The Celtics, stand by. I had it open and changed it. And now I've got to get it back. The Celtics have the Pistons tomorrow. And then they have the Bucks in Boston. Then they're at the Pacers. Those are the next 3 games. And then they're at the Hornets twice.
I think it's Boston because they play so many more games. I think the Chiefs get through the Raiders pretty easily.
Yeah, Boston's got a couple in there where it's like, oh, they can get you. You can be got there or something like that.
So by November 10th,
I can see the Chiefs winning the next 2 weeks or whatever.
Is that right? Okay, yeah, November 10th. The Chiefs have the Raiders, then they're at the Raiders, home Buccaneers, home Broncos, at Bills.
Yeah, Chiefs aren't losing until at least the Bills probably.
At Bills is November 17th. If I'm circling a game, the Chiefs are going to lose in those coming up. That's the one I'd circle. So the Celtics by November 17th. Oh my God, they got so many games before then. Although, man, so we talked.
You got the Celtics going 24-0.
Bucks, Pacers. They could lose on the road to the Pacers, I guess. But then it's Hornets twice, Hawks. They get the Warriors at home, Nets at home. They're at the Bucks. That's tough. But then home Hawks, at Nets, home Raptors.
It's gonna be a fun season, boys.
Like dog.
It's gonna be a fun season.
I think they're setting the.
There's a
NBA,
legit chance that the Chiefs lose before the Celtics do.
I don't know. That's tough. Like we're going on 3 weeks of just not losing. I know. I get it. I get it.
Good. And it's
you
not
figured
even,
they have to do like one, maybe.
But the Chiefs have a bona fide like losable game there in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Like that's when it's like, man, Buffalo might be favored.
I just figured they'd have to at least lose one by then.
Okay.
Where did the Warriors
pick
go?
Pick the one. Home Bucks on Monday.
I guess one in Milwaukee, I guess.
No, wait, hang on. I'm sorry. Pistons tomorrow.
Yeah, no.
Home Bucks.
Celtics win.
Okay. At Pacers?
I can see that one.
That's
honestly.
a potential.
I can see
that's a potential. At Hornets, back to back.
Mm,
The Hornets games are always kind of weird, but Celtics will take those, I guess.
I don't think they're losing those.
Yeah.
At Hawks,
No.
home Warriors,
Oh no. Tatum's going for 100 that day.
home Nets.
No.
At Bucks is a possibility.
There it is right there. So there's at least 3 that we just picked out right now.
3.
3 or 2 is the Pacers, and then I guess on the road on the Bucks. And the Hornets, like I said, always get one against Boston somehow, some way every year. So. No,
All right.
I can see it. Yeah, I can see the Celtics.
okay,
dropping
so
one.
the 2015-16 Warriors won the first
24 in a row.
24 to start the season. They went 36-2 through 38 games. But I don't know that there's anyone even close to the Celtics.
You're not wrong, but it's like it's tough to predict like just runs like that, though. I feel.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Like if they
just-
do that,
look,
then it's just whatever, winning
this
all
is what-
82, and that's that. But
This is. If any team was going to do it, that's kind of my thing this year. Like they have the formula, man.
Mhm.
It's that. So the Warriors won that title in 15, but it was still like, okay, that was cute. Steph wasn't even the MVP of the finals. Like, okay, whatever. And then they go to 16, and it was like, nope, very much still here, going to try and win every single game, and this group of players is going to maximize and peak all at the same time.
yeah, I don't think there's gonna be a letdown with the Celtics this year.
Yeah, right, because they're still pissed.
Exactly.
Like they're going out to prove a point.
Like on Tuesday against the Knicks, it was kind of like they just picked up right where they left off from the finals.
Yeah, exactly. There was no, and that's where it wouldn't. I don't think this actually happens, but it wouldn't shock me if they're sitting there and going, "Hey, 73-9 is the goal this year."
Mhm.
Like that's what we're chasing now. They think, okay, we got an easy path to the title, this and that. We're just gonna wipe the floor with everybody all year.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I think they got the right coach to keep him in that mindset too. I love Joe Mazzulla.
Yeah,
A
He's a good
psychopath,
coach.
but yeah,
he is a
Great coach.
lunatic.
yes.
Which I don't.
It's hey, look, you assembled a great
I
team.
guess.
and
Yeah,
I'm
go ahead.
expecting them to win like 3 championships, like out in a 5-year window.
Yeah,
And I think you're right. We're going to look back at this team and put them like, I know the other day you mentioned like the Jordan Bulls. Like they're not going to win 6 out of 8, and the
No,
only
but
reason lost 2 is because Jordan decided to go play baseball.
Yeah, and it's not that they'll be on that level, right? It's just they'll be mentioned in that group.
Yeah, I think that they're going to be one of the great Celtics like groupings of runs of players.
Tatum and Brown have been great for so long, but it's like realistic they're hitting their prime now.
Yes, like that's the thing. Like that's where the discourse around the Celtics gets sideways, because it's like, oh man, these guys choked, they fell short, and like, look, they were the better team in this series and in that series or whatever. And it's like, yeah, they went up against the LeBron Heat when Jason Tatum was 20, and they took them to 7. Yeah, they went up against the Warriors at the last end of their run, a team that had been there time and time again in their first trip to the finals. Yeah, that happens. It's not like they were all in their prime and not able to put it all together.
Yeah.
Like they did it last year. We saw it happen. Jason Tatum, their best player, wasn't even the MVP of the conference finals or the finals.
Yeah, he's still 26.
He's 26.
Jaylen Brown's 28.
Come on.
Derek White's 30. He's got years.
Especially Derek White's going to be awesome until he's 37
Yeah, probably.
in his role.
35, 36.
Man. Like you said, you'd probably have to pick the Celtics just because of the volume of games.
Yeah.
But if you told me that the Chiefs lost before the Celtics, I would not be shocked.
I hope you guys are right.
It's a good question. Should have been one of our it should be a mystery like hanging out there.
I'm
Mad
keeping
props.
track.
Mad props.
You want to throw it in here? Who
No,
loses
because
first?
like how do we track it?
I'm picking Boston. How do we track it?
Well, just like whoever gets it like 3 weeks from now or 2 weeks from now.
No,
wins.
you just pick. Does Boston or Kansas City lose first?
Okay, let's add it. Yeah.
Want to add it to this one?
Yeah, might as well.
It's fine. We'll just double back on it.
Now we have to start the music, go all over again, and like
It's time for Mad Props. 2 games, 2 props. Which
You know, let's
number
just
will
go
be
over them all
higher?
again.
That's
Okay,
for
here we go.
Kyle and James to
Start with you,
decide.
Jude.
Here's Mad Props.
All right, Jesse. Jordan Mason rushing attempts. And
No. I'm just kidding. So I'll take the Celtics taking their first loss before the Chiefs.
Boston losing first.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Chiefs. Chiefs lose first.
I love this. I love this for you, James. So Jesse, and I got to turn this down. So Jesse has I'm taking Boston to lose first as well.
You could have convinced me like the Chiefs could have lost to Tampa Bay before they lost their 2 best receivers.
Yeah, that's it. Yes.
I'm calling on Chiefs to lose to Raiders this weekend. There it is. I'm not. Gardner mentioned.
What if that was the take? But then Boston loses to Detroit tonight.
Well,
or tomorrow.
Don't even put that in that universe.
All right, so
it could
James,
happen.
you're taking KC, and Jesse and I have the Celtics losing.
That's amazing. I can't believe Jesse won against his team.
It's gotta be a little bit
It's
realistic.
odds. It's just the odds.
Yeah, it's gotta play the
It's just
odds.
more games. I haven't figured out what time we need to be out yet. What were your? Did you have any? My mind was not changed about the Kings at all last night. I had zero.
Honestly,
nothing happened that made me go like, I'm off my 51-31 prediction.
Oh, you're 51-31?
51-31. That's where I landed.
I'm there too. I felt a little bit better about it yesterday.
I think I'm 49-33.
I'm at least 50. That's where I'm at. I don't have like a set record. I'm at least 50 wins for them this season.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. You could tell yesterday was kind of like get DeMar out there, let him do his thing. I think they'll figure out the flow and get that all done and all that, where it won't look as wonky. Defensively, I feel like they gotta figure out where they need to be. I feel like there was too many times yesterday where it was 2 guys like, oh, maybe I take him, you take him, but there's an open guy over here. They kind of just need to attack on defense and just know where they got to be, I think, a little bit more. But other than that, I mean, like yesterday, DeMar wasn't great in the fourth quarter, but Monk starts stepping up. I think that's going to be a thing all season where it's just there's so many options. But I feel good about it.
Yeah, sorting out who the fourth quarter guy is or that hierarchy, I think is going to be a big part of the first couple months.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be something where it's like, oh, the Kings can't they're like off and on winning, win loss. Like I think they're going to be fine. I have them going like 7-3 the first 10.
Yeah, it's not a matter of they don't have a player to do it. So who does it? It's they have 3 guys who have been that dude not for them necessarily, but who have been that guy in the league.
And I think it can be different every night.
Sure,
it doesn't have to be the same. And like, look, DeMar could have easily figured out a way to get to the basket every single one of those times. That's just who he is. But yeah, I want to see Fox be more assertive. I'm a little worried that he, what's his knee going to look like after game 1, because they play a day later. So a little concerned that maybe we won't see the full version of him against the Lakers, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Do you think that hampered him at all last night?
Well, I mean, he went out of the game for 2 minutes, and then I don't think he was super productive in the fourth quarter. He didn't score in the fourth quarter. Maybe he was, playing
Do we get any kind of pregame injury update, or is that just whatever injury report comes out before the game?
I'm gonna guess that he's not gonna be on an injury report. But that doesn't mean he's not gonna be slightly hampered.
A little hampered.
Yeah.
Mike Brown's got to figure out the rotations to him. Once he does, it look a lot cleaner too.
Yeah, that's the other thing with last night.
Was not a fan of Keon Ellis and Doug McDermott on the floor together yesterday.
Yeah, any overreactions to last night? That's the other thing I come back to.
Yeah.
You've got guys ramping up. You've got a guy like Keon not playing at a high level yet. It's just a lot to figure out, man. That's why there's 82 of these things.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of game 1 stuff, but overall, I thought it was good.
They'll look a lot different after game 5 after 5 games.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Call me at Christmas.
All right, we'll do that.
It's my
I'm
mom.
gonna call you at Thanksgiving. Let's see. Kyle.
Well, I mean, I guess
Here they are. Here they are, Kyle.
Yeah.
They're back.
I'm really excited for Thanksgiving this year.
Oh.
Yeah. Going down to SoCal, hang out with the family.
It's far.
Nice.
It's gonna be a good time.
Dolphins, Packers.
Don't call me. 100% don't call me. Isn't it? Don't we have Lions?
That's the morning game usually.
Packers?
Yeah.
No, Dolphins, Packers.
I can't wait for
it's the 5:30
football.
game on Thanksgiving.
Oh, the Lions play. Did they get Minnesota?
Vikings? Yeah,
Might be Minnesota.
Look at us not knowing our football game.
Why would I know the Lions schedule?
Yeah, that's true.
They play an NFC North team.
The Lions play at 10 o'clock on Thanksgiving. That's all you need to know.
Isn't it 9:30? Don't they start a little
That's
earlier?
true. They do it a little early, I think.
What
God,
day
I
is
can't wait.
Thanksgiving? Is it the 28th?
Yeah, it's a Thursday.
Oh, they play the Bears.
The Bears. That'll be
Fire.
great.
There
Can't
we
wait.
go.
Can't wait.
The Bears.
Fired up. Not nearly as fired up as I am for D'Lo and KC, though. What do you guys got coming up?
We got you, Ham, Eddie Gonzalez, and King Stock.
Eddie Gonzalez?
Yeah. Eddie's weekly on Friday, so make sure you tap it on
nice, man.
Fridays.
I love that. Eddie Gonzalez, host of the Et Cetera, is with Kevin Durant. Dragging Kevin Durant on the internet after the Suns win the other night.
Yeah.
That's great.
Shout out Eddie.
He's a fun guy. Love Eddie. That'll be fun. So will D'Lo and KC. They're going to take you into the weekend. James Ham and I are done with this program until Monday. Can't wait to get back in and talk some Kings and talk some NFL with you on Monday. Stick around for D'Lo and KC. They are next. He's James. I'm Kyle. We're the Insiders. Back with you Monday at 10. Until then, drink water and be nice, people. Bye!